Welcome back, nerds. Fino here with a guide for Valentine's 2025, the NA event to be specific. Early on into this event story, you're given a pair of special chocolates that let you instantly pick the Valentine of your choosing. Unlike the usual lock-on chocolates though, this one gives an event-specific buff to your chosen servant's bond gain, and get this, it maxes out their NP meter at the start of every fight. You should take advantage of this when planning for your 90++ or Challenge Quest teams, so sit tight on that until you figure out what you're up against. I'll get to that a little later. As usual with Valentine's events, you get two types of chocolates, randoms and lock-ons. Unless you like sifting through year 1 scenes, I'd use the lock-ons for anyone you actually want to see. Kukulkan, anyone? Also important for the uninitiated is the fact that Valentines act as experienced CEs, and you should use up anything that A isn't from MASH, and B is something you don't have a strong attachment to. The MASH CEs are usually only given out once, so if you feed them to your Black Grail, you're out of luck. Other Valentine CEs are reobtainable every year, so you should utilize them as a resource. In the usual Valentine tradition, there's a point ladder. To climb it, you should pick up copies of the cute girl seated behind me, which increases point drops. The name is tentative, by the way. It also has starting charge and anti-human damage, but mixed stats render it unappetizing for general use outside this event. 4 copies are available in the shop, and 1 is in the point ladder. Until you get an appropriate amount, I'd recommend running generic Valentine gift CEs for a smaller bonus. Among the point ladder's rewards are this year's 3 command codes. Evangelist of Unconditional Love provides anti-chaotic alignment damage, Drowsy Bomb grants defense ignore and a curse on hit, and lastly Holy Paper Bag purges a single attack buff on hit while also increasing the crit damage of its specified card. Evangelist and Drowsy Bomb are useful tactical options, so I'd make sure to pick those up. Might save you a few headaches in the future. Also in the spirit of Valentine's, the Gold Buddy Ring will be added to the Mana Prism shop. There are now 2 Gold Buddy Rings in total, and you can give one to your waifu and one to your mistress. And if MASH asks what you've been up to, that's when you bust out the Silver Buddy Ring. Definitely in the spirit of Valentine's. Notably, this event gives out bond teapots through Blessed Tea Party quests. These are just extra fights, nothing notable otherwise. If NA does it like JP, then these teapots will last through the first week of March. Unfortunately, nothing particularly important happens between now and then, so feel free to use them on any unfinished Lost Belts, or if you've concluded your business there, on some interludes. As far as the gacha goes, Johanna is the obvious newcomer, but Bazette is also getting a return banner for anyone lacking impulse control. Oh, you poor soul, what's Tiamat gonna think? The 90++ quest is pretty merciful this time around. It's a 2-wave encounter. Wave 1 has 2 Berserkers, and Wave 2 features the Moon Cancer Jinako with another Berserker. It's a real softball since Jinako has quite a few exploitable weaknesses. She's good aligned, so Ruler Moriarty and Echan do bonus damage, Ruler Scotty can exploit her lawful alignment, and you can even use someone like Santa Martha to give anti-divine to your main damage dealer. Pope Johanna has a damage bonus if you want to go that route, but for my part I used a combination of Chengong and Estrella. In retrospect, this was massive overkill, but I couldn't resist picking Chengong with my special chocolate to try out some overcharge memes. Good times. The challenge quest pits you against the duo of Karen and Classic Avenger, or as they're otherwise known, don't look up the original version of this scene. The main mechanic of this fight is that you need to manage your alignments to maintain your damage. Evil aligned servants do more damage while good aligned ones do less. If you hit Karen, she attempts to give you the good alignment. If you hit Avenger, he tries the same but with evil. Because of this, the most straightforward way of doing this fight is to run an AoE Evil Avenger and do a little trick. Whenever you aren't using debuffs on Karen specifically, target Angry Man and make sure your main attacker hits him after their NP, if at all possible. This will set you up at the start of each turn with evil alignment, and your attacker's inherent alignment will take care of turn 1. While most Avengers are evil, there are some notable exceptions to be aware of. Nobunaga, Ranmaru, and Erisei. You should avoid those. Ranmaru in particular is good aligned, so she'll actively make your life more difficult. There are also 2 other non-evil Avengers, but they're currently JP Summer servants, so don't worry about that. This might sound complicated, but your entry-level Avenger actually fits all of these requirements. I am, of course, referring to Antonio Salieri. You don't even need to bend over backwards to make him work, though a Black Grail certainly helps. Karen is on a 4-turn timer, and her Noble Phantasm blocks your buffs, so you really want to get her out of the way sooner rather than later. On first break, she nerfs her frontline's attack and gains amplified damage against good aligned servants. And on second break, she gains 5 stacks of increased defense and accelerated charge. She also does an alignment check. If your units are good aligned, they get their Noble Phantasm sealed. If they're evil aligned, they get NP damage instead. She also turns your frontline chaotic, which is just there to activate her own anti-chaotic damage. Once Karen is out of the way, you'll have to contend with Avenger. The bad news is that he doesn't seem to use his third skill, which would put him on a 5-turn self-destruct timer. The good news is that without Karen on the field, he'll gain a pair of ramping debuffs to his attack and defense. He persistently has increased damage against evil units, and this will become a problem once he's by himself, since he can use his team's entire allotment of actions. So get ready to take some hits in the back half of this fight. On break, Avenger gains the ability to use his Noble Phantasm, and he will immediately get a full meter. On top of this, his defense against evil enemies goes up for 5 hits, and he gains 5 stacks of a 1 health Guts. The threat of this is that Virga Vesta scales off the amount of damage Avenger takes while it's up. Normally, this is an impossibly shit NP when you try to use it yourself, but with an inflated health pool, this enemy is well suited to punishing you with it. And as you can see, it bypasses Castoria's anti-enforcement defense. Unless you want to bring some guts, the main solution to surviving it is to do as little damage to Avenger as possible during his Virga Vesta turns. If Karen is still around for whatever reason, you can target her for attacks instead. You can also chain non-damaging Noble Phantasms together to essentially skip your own turn. However, there is a third option, which is to kamikaze your frontline into that breakbar NP. He'll explode, and then you can rotate in a backline with a suitable Moon Cancer to finish the job. In other words, a core with Salieri up front and BB in the back can do this fight without too much difficulty. With all that said, you should have the information you need to pick your special Valentines. Or blow one on Jekyll, I guess, if you enjoy the sensation of buyer's remorse. Good luck and thanks for watching, lads. Like if you found this video helpful, subscribe for more, and come to twitch.tv/Finotaisen where I stream every weekend, 3 PM Pacific time, Friday through Sunday. This Friday I'm rolling for the new Mast and Anchor on Nikkei, and on both Saturday and Sunday I'll be returning to FGO with maybe some Johanna rolls mixed in. I'll probably do those on Sunday. Till next time.